Is it working? I had all kinds of trouble getting on here today. I am so sorry if you've been waiting for me. Sometimes technology doesn't play nice, although I have a feeling it might have been user error today. I think I might have pressed the wrong button when I was coming in and closed it rather than opened it. Anyway, here I am. Hi, everyone. It is Tuesday, October 15, halfway through the month. Goodness me, this whole year is just gone. I don't know where it's gone. Anybody else feel like this one's been especially fast? Don't know what's going on. It seems to be speeding up. I don't want it to speed up. How are we all? Has anyone got anything new, exciting and fun to tell us? Leslie, if you're here, I saw your news that you were in Australia 51 years yesterday. That's pretty exciting. Congratulations. Sounds like it was a good decision for you. Such a brave decision to uproot everything and move to the other side of the world. I think that's crazy. You've got some other Cliff Richard fans in here. Leslie, it looks like Sheila's also a fan. I'm just looking through all the comments. Hello, everyone. I'm not going to be able to say hi to everyone today. I'm so sorry. But thank you, everyone, for joining us. All right. Cherie says everyone should live in Australia. My husband is not completely convinced. He misses his family. And I think, if I wasn't here, he has already said if anything ever happened to me, he probably would have no reason to stay, which is really sad, don't you think? So, yeah. And Marilyn is asking Ronnie how you got on with the hurricane. So, yeah, I'd love to hear that response as well. Hello, Denise. How are you? Hi, Tanya. Cherie is here. Okay. All right. I'm going to do an old technique today, but we're just going to have some fun because I love background techniques especially. And this is kind of a background technique that takes center stage. How about that? I have done it before. I did a video on this. I looked it up before I came live earlier. And I did the original video about 4 years ago. So let me actually go back to it and I'll give you the actual date because it was back then. I'm doing it again because originally when I did this technique, we didn't have all the same tools and we don't have the same stamps anymore either. So it kind of, I feel like it needs to be done again. The actual theme is it's Misty Forest technique. Some of you may have seen this, and I did the card last time. Let me just quickly, I'm just seeing what date it was so you can look it up if you want to. Actually, I'll put a link in the description below at the end of this video. I originally did it September 10, 2020. And the video is titled How to Create a Misty Forest Card. So if you really love this technique and you want to see a bit more, then go back and watch that. But it'll be really similar today. But obviously, I now have all you guys with me. So that's pretty cool, right? All right. So let's see. I'm not seeing all the comments. So I'm so sorry if I don't respond to people straight away. Okay. So let's switch over to the desk. Give me a second and I'll press the button for that. All right. Let me just straighten up this camera a little bit. I don't like being crooked. We don't like crooked, right? It's still a little bit crooked. I hope I'm not making anyone seasick. All right. How about that? That's not too bad, is it? Okay. What did Ronnie say? It was rough. Yeah, we were listening to all the news stories from this side of the world and it sounded pretty crazy. I can't even imagine what it is like to live through a big storm like that. We've had a few big storms, but yeah, and even just a bit of a good old thunder and lightning storm here. Crumpet, who's my little ginger cat, he is terrified, absolutely terrified. We had a little bit of thunder here yesterday afternoon and he falls apart. If there was a hurricane, I don't think he'd survive. He's so, he's a little bit special. But he needs to be held or wrapped up, preferably wrapped up when there's a storm. So, yeah, I'm so sorry that you've been through such a scary time, Ronnie. Really scary. Okie doke. All right, so let's get started. I thought tonight the Misty Forest technique, you can actually pick any like foresty type tree. So by that I mean, you know, I've only ever done it with pines. I guess you could use other trees as well, but I think pine trees are the best for this. And of course we have some beautiful pine trees in this new catalog. So I'm just going to turn to the Season of Elegance, which is here on pages 22, 23, 24 and 25. This is what they call a mega suite. Okay, so it's called Season of Elegance. Everything I show you today is available to purchase. Okay, so if you see something and you think, oh, I really wish I had that, you can buy it. There's a link below this video to the online store, and you can shop with me if you're in Australia. If you're not in Australia, you'll need to find a demonstrator closer to you, or perhaps you are in Australia but you already have a demonstrator, and then contact them to get what you need. So yeah, it's just, you do, when you're purchasing Stampin' Up products, you do need to purchase them through a demonstrator. I believe there's a way to log out of the site as a guest, but even then I believe your order is still allocated to a demonstrator, because Stampin' Up obviously support their demonstrators, so that's how that works. All right. So what I'm looking at here, you can see there's this beautiful stamp set, and I've got it right here so we can see it a bit closer up. It's called Peaceful Evergreens, and I'm going to be using this one, the smallest of these trees. I could also use this one. I might use that one as well, but most of the work is going to be done with this small tree. Okay, and then we've got some other bits and pieces that I might add in as well. We have the textured dots, the gold textured dots. And we have this gorgeous paper, which I'm not planning on using today, but it is absolutely stunning. So there you go. So that's what we're using. And I'm going to be doing my Misty Moonlight technique. Now, you can pick any color cardstock. I particularly like grey granite, but you could also do this on other colors. Okay, so I want a color with a little bit of depth, which I feel that grey granite has, but the color of the paper will actually blend really nicely with the mist that we're going to create. Oh, that's no good. That's no good, Cherie. That's a bit scary. Oh dear. The tail of a cyclone. Yeah. Yep. I have not been through that experience, and I have no wish to. The closest I've come, we had a really scary storm here on the Central Coast, probably going back, I think it was 2014. I know it was before I was married, so it was when it was just me and the kids. And you know, we had a tree go down over our driveway, and you know, we had no power for a week. That was fun. I remember, you know, going to the local McDonald's just to get the internet so I could keep my business running. So that was a bit scary. All right, so we're going to be creating this Misty Forest technique, and I'm going to use grey granite, but you could also use any neutral with a bit of depth. So smoky slate will work really well. Basic beige actually works really well, because the green undertone of basic beige actually tones in nicely with the trees. So that's different things you can do. So I find picking a nice neutral color, my suggestion would be, if you love this technique, grab a few of the neutrals and experiment with them and see which one you like the best. Okay. Oh, that sounds really scary, Ronnie. The sound's terrifying. Yeah, wow. Oh, yes, of course. You've been through the earthquakes that are in South Island there, Sheila. I remember that. And that was a big, scary time. Some people here have been through some really, really scary things, haven't they? And yet we've lived to tell the tale. Good on us. All right, I'm going to start with this one. Now, this is a white ink technique. Some of you know I'm a mad keen white inker. I love white ink so much. You have so many different techniques you can do with it. Just stunning. Absolutely love it. And I use it for, all the time. So we'll be using white ink. We'll be using blending brushes. Now, I've just done, can you see this? This is actually, I've just been using this for white ink. When you use blending brushes with white ink is different. It's not like it's a pigment ink. It's not like the water-based classic inks that we have. So for example, if I just pick one of our classic inks, Early Espresso, this is water-based. And if I was to put this in here, I can wash my brush out afterwards. Once you've used a brush for white, you really can't do much else with it. I just keep it for white, but you can see it gets quite stained, and mine looks purple. And the reason it looks purple was because I put white ink onto Blackberry Bliss cardstock, and I ended up with some of that pigment from the Blackberry Bliss cardstock coming off on my brush. I've just ordered some new brushes because I do need some more, so I do go through a few of those. Oh, still, yeah. Well, it's like Hurricane Katrina over in Louisiana. They're still cleaning up, and that was what 20 years ago. Isn't that crazy? Absolutely stupid crazy. I just can't even fathom that. So do you want to see the one I did on the, I'll just show you the one I did on the Blackberry Bliss. Okay, this is what I did on the Blackberry Bliss, and you can see why it's called the Misty Forest technique. The ones that are at the back look like they're kind of fading into the mist, and the ones that are at the foreground are a bit more distinct. Okay, that's on Blackberry Bliss cardstock. See, look, there's the back, you can see it, and that's what it looks like on the front after I've used my white ink and my stamping and so forth. So it turned out really nice, and I actually thought I could put it on a piece of this and then put a panel down here and a word across the bottom, and that would actually look really beautiful. It's really lovely, right? It is lovely, isn't it? So it's a really, really nice technique. So stay with me, and we're gonna do something with this. All right, I've actually got another one here that doesn't have, it's been used for white ink, but it doesn't have the Blackberry Bliss on it, because I'm worried that the Blackberry Bliss might actually, would it matter? It probably wouldn't matter even if it does come over to the, let's just use the Blackberry Bliss one. If I do get any Blackberry Bliss coming through, I don't think that'll look bad. I think it'll probably be nice, but that's, yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, so I've actually gone and put some white ink onto a block. So I've got my white ink here, my refill, and I've just popped it, a little bit of it here on the block, and I'm going to be picking it up from there. You can also pick it up from the ink pad, but if you want to use a lot, I find it's easier to use the re-inker and just go straight into the re-inker. And you can see you get quite a lot on it, and that's why we get such a lovely white effect. So I'm going to start by colouring the top third or so of my panel here. So this is grey granite, remember? So I'm actually going to start just by circling, and we're going to go down, like I said, about a third of the way. And you can see it's getting a little bit less distinct as we work our way down. There's a little bit of that purple coming through, but it doesn't look bad. It looks quite nice, actually. All right, so about a third of the way down. That's what I'm starting with, okay? Does it wash off the block? Okay, absolutely, yes. It is not it's not waterproof ink. If you mix water with your white ink, that's why you can do like the whitewashing technique, which is water and white ink. Those blend really nicely together, and that just washes off easily. In fact, I even clean my blocks and my stamps white ink. I clean them on my Stampin' Scrub. So I just do it, treat it like normal ink. It does mean that you need to clean your scrub a little bit more often, because it, you know, marks your scrub with white ink, but nothing bad happens. I'm just going to, as I go and do this, I'm actually going to just clean up, because we don't want to end up with white ink everywhere, as nice as it is. All right, so I'm actually going to use Mossy Meadow for this. Now, I have packed for a class tomorrow. So if I suddenly go, oh, whoops, I don't have XYZ, that's because it's over in the bag waiting to be taken to class tomorrow. So I'm going to be using this smallest. So this is the smallest of the 3 trees. Okay, I'm going to be using that. And I'm going to come in here with my Mossy Meadow ink, and you can use whatever color you like, but Mossy Meadow is a big favorite for me. And I'm going to stamp this, and I'm going to stamp it again, and I'm going to have them like not all exactly the same height. You can have a, you know, in fact, I'm going to stamp it again. You can see that it's fading a little bit as we go across, but that's fine. All right, so we've got a few trees going across here, and you can see it's kind of darker here behind these trees, but up the top it's light, okay? So I'm actually going to pick up a bit more white ink now that I've got them on there, and I'm actually going to do this again. I'm going to circle this, and I'm going to kind of pull it down in between the trees. And it does pick up a little bit of the ink that I've just put on, so we've got a little bit of a green tinge in there because it's picked up some of the Mossy Meadow. But that's okay. All right, so I'm just leaving it like that All right, so we're trying to create a feeling of like these trees fading into the mist at the back. And in fact, we'll probably come back and play with them more and make them fade a little bit more again later. Now that we've got our trees, our row here, I'm going to pick up some more ink and I'm going to come up from the bottom and I'm going to do kind of like a row, if you like, of white at the base of these trees. All right, like so. And I'm actually going to take that up a little bit. So I'm actually going to flick it up into the trees. You can, you know, it's totally up to you how much of, I just see I've got a fingerprint up there. That's easy fixed. Now, I'll talk about this more in a minute, but if you're worried about this feeling tacky, there's a couple of things you can do. You can hit it with a heat tool to dry it off faster, or you can use your embossing buddy and just tap your embossing buddy over the whole thing and it's instantly dry. So that's actually a really good trick. I actually don't know where my embossing buddy is. Otherwise, I'd probably do that before the end of this, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. All right, so I'm going to do another row now, and I'm going to have like a second row here. And I'm not stamping these ones off. So the first ones, I didn't worry about them being dark. I'm doing each one like fully stamped. So you can see now we've got a little bit of like white in between the two rows. We want it to look like there's mist down in between these trees. All right. Can you kind of see how it's looking? Hey, Joe. Hey, Leslie. Oh, we have two Leslies. And yes, Sheila said Leslie too. There you go. All right. So now if I could come and do another row down here if I want to. I might. I haven't decided yet. The other thing you could do is you can mix your trees up. Even though they look different, you could mix your trees up by doing a second tree. So, for example, if I get this skinny one here, this is taller but skinnier. So I'm going to pop that on a block. And I'm going to ink it up just to have a bit of variation in these trees. So I'm going to have this one right. And also means it colors all the way to the bottom. Now, if you want to, so can you see now we've got a few rows, but we can also see a bit of white. So it's like there's mist down in between the trees as well. All right, I'm just going to move that. And actually, I'll just use my cleaning cloth. If you don't have a cleaning cloth, you can use a bit of scrub and paper towel. That also works just fine. Or you can use baby wipes, whatever works for you. Yeah, it is a really, really fun technique. All right, so I want the front here to look like it's a bit, you know, it's not so misty at the front. It's in the foreground. So there's a few things you can do. You can either stamp more trees. So, for example, see how there's a gap there? So I'm going to make sure that one's inked up really well, and I'm just going to stamp another tree. Something else you can do, you can grab a blending brush with some Mossy Meadow, and you could use a bit of blending over the base here so it becomes more solid. That's probably enough, actually. I think that's kind of enough. All right, so let me get a bit of that. Right, so I don't feel, even though it looks good, I don't feel it's enough yet. And this is what I want to kind of, we really want to make this white coming down from the top, and we actually want to lose some of the detail of these trees into that background. So I'm actually going to come down over the trees themselves, and hopefully you can see that they start to fade into the background. Ooh. All right. So sort of, can you see how they're kind of getting lost in the background there? All right, now if you want to get down in between here, you could get a smaller blending brush, or you could get a sponge dauber. All right, so let's grab a sponge dauber, like one of these, And I'm just going to pick up a bit more of this. And I'm going to make sure that I've got a bit of mist in between my trees here. Now, to be honest, I think maybe my Mossy Meadow ink pad is slightly not inky enough. If I was to re-ink that, I'd have really dark trees at the front. But, you know, maybe they'd be too dark. So I might just leave it for now. But hopefully you're getting an idea of how this looks. It's an easy technique, really, really easy. So you're just mucking around with your white ink and your trees and just doing a repeated tree pattern. So it kind of looks like we've been to Alaska or something like that. Ronnie and Roz are talking to each other. I bet you guys have lots to talk about. That's exactly what it should remind you of, Ronnie. It looks cold. Yeah, it could be cold, couldn't it? All right, so what do we do? I'm going to add a tiny, tiny bit more white at the very top. And when I did the blackberry one that I just showed you a moment ago, I got really heavy-handed with the white at the top. I'm going to need some more white ink refill because I'm nearly done with this one. I've still got some, but I would like to get another one. All right, so I'm just going to come over this edge and make it really white. And we're flicking it down so it's kind of... Now, something I was thinking about, if anyone is interested, a technique I haven't done for a long time is the Northern Lights technique. And I've been thinking to myself, I've been looking at all these photos. My sister-in-law sent me some photos that she took near her house the other night of all the... I think she sent me like 18 photos of the Northern Lights. And I'm like, oh, I really need to do the Northern Lights technique. Also, here in Australia, some people have been able to see the aurora boreal, the Australian aurora. What is it? Aurora australis. That's what it is, and that's really beautiful as well. Different colors and stuff, but still gorgeous. If you're living in the southern states like Tassie and Victoria, you probably saw it. I haven't seen it here. All right. You want to see the Northern Lights technique? Okay, Marty, I might put that on either next week or the week after. How about that? All right, I know. I've got this thing about the Northern Lights. I was desperate to see them. I was really, when we went to Alaska back in 2018 with Stampin' Up, I was absolutely desperate to see them. And the very last night we were on the boat, we were heading south back towards Seattle, which was our disembarkation spot. And I went outside. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning, and there was this tiny, tiny little bit of green dancing in the sky. And I'm like, because my husband coming from Michigan has seen them many times, and I'm like, honey, is that it? Is that the Northern Lights? He's like, well, it's not a very good example, but yes, that is the Northern Lights. You can actually say now that you've seen the Northern Lights, but I want to see them better. So now that's my new, but I did actually get my bucket list goal and did actually get to say I'd seen them, but it's not the same as seeing them spectacularly. So yes. My sister's in my sister-in-law is in Michigan, Roz, so that's why she's taking photos of them up there. They see them often up there. Right, so this is nice. We can do a number of things. Let's make it into a card. I'm just wondering how wide this is. This is 10 centimeters. I'm thinking we could go a number of ways with this. We could go with, we could put it on a early espresso background. That would look quite nice. What do you think? I think it would look quite woodsy if we put it on early espresso. We could pick different browns though. We could also go, we could do Mossy Meadow, of course. But I'm just thinking something else might be nice. I'm just looking to see if I have any early espresso big enough. I have to cut a piece because my scrap drawer only has little pieces in it. All right. So let's make this up into a card. Now we could stamp on it. This looks not dissimilar to the scene that I made 4 years ago that I told you about, but I've used different stamps, and I was using sponge brayers then, but now we're using will I go with, yeah, I will. So this is just half a sheet of A4 folded in half. This time, of course, we had the blending brushes. I think the blending brushes, who else loves the blending brushes? I think they're really easy to use, and I love that you can do so many different things with them. All right, so this is how it will look on the early espresso. What do we think? Do we like that? Now, I could stamp directly onto here, or I could put it on a banner. What do you guys think? Or I could use like, I could use my Christmas. That's gold with, this is left over from another project actually. That's gold with very vanilla, and I could do that. What do you think? Would we like that? And then I could just put a little Mary on it. I know, I love the blending brushes too, Moira. I think they're fabulous. You've just had to order more. I know, right? That's the only thing, you know. I find I've got a big drawer of them, and then I want them one for every color. You like it with the Christmas die on it, Julie? So maybe I should go with that. All right, well, let's glue this together. This is probably going to be a quick one today, I think, because this is such an easy technique. So my suggestion to you is get your brushes out and your white ink and start experimenting. And you just find that by layering, it will work really, really well. Now, see, I got a fingerprint there, so I'm actually going to just go over that. That's because I haven't used my embossing buddy on it, or a heat tool or anything. So actually probably putting the Christmas on in this format will work quite well. The other thing, I think maybe I should have actually got my Mossy Meadow ink and maybe just coloured a little bit at the bottom here with my blending brush. That might have been better, but doesn't matter. It won't make a lot of difference. All right, let's put this on dimensionals. Well, that's interesting. I borrowed, I don't know if she's watching, but I borrowed a pack of sponge daubers from a friend, and she gave me 2 because she found an old pack, and she said they'd been there so long she was worried they might crumble. And yes, they were quite old, and yes, they did. So I was really glad she gave me both packs. Now, is that white or vanilla? It is vanilla. So let me grab a piece of vanilla. It's just a little piece of vanilla here, and I'm going to stamp with the same set. Actually, not the same set, with the other set that's in that Season of Elegance. This one's so good because you have merry and happy, so you're not constrained to either merry or happy Christmas. You can have both, or one or the other if you don't like the other one. So I find that rather good. But I'm just going to pick whichever one jumps out at me first. There we go. What is it? Merry. It's merry. All right, so I'm going to go with early espresso. All right, so I find when I've got a little tiny word like this, it's just as easy to just cut it out by hand. You could use a banner, or, you could do something, but, it's just a little word, and it's just as easy to zip around it with a pair of scissors, and it doesn't even matter if it's not especially straight. And I know that's coming from someone who needs things to be straight. But when it's a little word like this, I don't mind whether it goes on straight like this or whether I put it slightly at an angle. That also looks kind of cute. So I'm thinking I'll go straight anyway. Now I've said that. Sorry, Cherie. Am I in trouble? All right. Okay, so that's looking nice. And then I'm thinking, what dots will we use? We have a few options. We could go with some very vanilla or beige ones here. Those might be nice. We have got some gold foil here, so we could go gold. I'm deciding. And I've got the textured gold dots that are in this same suite, but they're very gold, like they're yellow gold, whereas this gold isn't really yellow gold. It's more of a matte gold. So I'm thinking maybe the Drucy dots. I don't know. Too many choices. What do you guys think? So the Drucy dots are these, but then that's not the right gold either. So it's completely different to this, and then once again completely different to those. So maybe just the metallic dots. Drucy dots. Tanya said Drucy dots. Green dots, says Marilyn. I don't have this color green. I do have, like I have this color green, but it's the wrong green. So I'm concerned about that. Well, this is an interesting option. I don't know how I feel about them. These are the smoky slate pearls. No, they're not quite right either. All right, I'm still looking. Oh, there's also this option. Pecan pie these little pecan pie gems. Can you see them? Those could be good. They might look rather nice because they're going to tone in with our early espresso. But the other option that goes with everything every time is just our good old faceted metallic dots in the gold. And that's the right gold to match with this. What do you think? Lots of choices now. Color dots with blends. Yes, I could do that, Roz. I could definitely do that. Oh, you're very welcome, Julie. And if you want to go back and have a look at that other video, I will put the link. I will put the link in the description below this video as soon as it's finished. Joe, you've asked, what are Drucy dots? They're not juicy dots, they're Drucy, D-R-U-S-Y. And if you think to yourself, what the heck is Drucy? You're in good company, because when it first came out, I didn't know either. And the reason that they're called Drucy dots, it's a geological, I'm sure if Janine's watching, she'll tell us this because she knows everything about the geological stuff. But it's a geological term. It means covered in crystals, like in geodes, all that kind of stuff. So like, when you crack open a rock and there's like amethyst crystals or something like that inside, well, that's what they call Drucy. So there you go. All right, yes, I will put the link in. Don't let me forget. Someone yell at me if I forget. Okay, but I'm thinking either these two. These are the contenders. Either the pecan pie, which look really, really nice. It's nothing overly shiny, I know, but they're really lovely. And then these ones are the metallic gems. They also go. Let's go with the pecan pie because I don't use these ones often enough. I'm just going to use the point of my scissors to take them off. There's large and small. These are online exclusives, these ones, and I really, really like them. Where shall we put everything? I think I'll put one here near the corner of the Mary, and then I'm going to have a couple more further up. And another small one, like so. Right, so then our card is done. And like I said, I'll need to either dry that off with a heat tool or whack my embossing buddy over the top, and that would also do the trick. So there you go. There's our card. What do you think? Do we like it? That's okay. Exactly, Joe. It's good, isn't it? Because we're all learning together. That's how that works. All right, let me get these out of the way. I want to show you how I did this one. So same technique, but I used Blackberry Bliss cardstock, as you can see, and I think it turned out really nice. I'm thinking I should do a card with this, but it's actually exactly the same technique as the other one. But instead of using green trees, I did Blackberry Bliss trees on Blackberry Bliss cardstock. And then I made sure I added lots and lots of white into the sky to really make those top trees look like they're fading into the background. So yeah, it turned out really pretty, and I was not sure how it would work. You could probably do the same thing with navy. I was thinking that would look really nice, or maybe Misty Moonlight would be good because Misty Moonlight's a little bit lighter, and then stamp on the Misty Moonlight with navy. Maybe we do that. Let's do that. I'm going to grab a piece of Misty Moonlight, making it up as I go along as usual, and let's do. I'm going to do a. So the panel, I really like this idea of having a smaller panel. We'll do the panel that, you know, make it bigger, and we can always cut it down, right? Hang on, what did I just do there? 9.5, so this will be 13.8. Yeah. Right, so given that we're starting with a darker color, let's see how we go. I'm just going to, oh, look, I must have cleaned that up. I don't even remember doing that, but hey, that's not like me. What am I doing? Who am I cleaning stuff? That doesn't happen. What was the question that Sheila asked? What was the question? Is the Christmas in very vanilla or basic beige? It's on here. I've done very vanilla on gold. Can you see it? And so when I did the Mary, I made sure that was on very vanilla as well, because if I did one white and one vanilla, it would look weird. So that's how those kind of turn out. And you can kind of see the white kind of making everything look misty there in the background, which I think it looks really cool. Such an easy thing to do. All right. I don't know whether I'm the one who came up with this technique. When I did it, I'd never seen anyone do it. It was just sort of something I had an idea for. So I guess I could kind of claim it as mine. What do you think, guys? Should I? All right, I'm just picking up lots of white here. And probably, you know, if I was really smart, I would put a piece of paper under here so I have to go clean up this all the time. Wouldn't that be clever? Who, you know, I need to think these things through, don't I? Give me a second. I'm going to find. Oh, I'm just going to get a piece of grid paper. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm dropping things as I go. All right. Let's give that a try. Wax. I know the glass mat is good for you know, you don't really, because it's so easy to clean and it saves your grid paper, but just for today I'm just going to use my grid paper underneath. All right, so I'm starting at the top and I'm going to circle over the edges like I did before. I'm going to come down about 1/3 of the way. All right, so I'm just going to circle it on. And I'm going to use navy ink, and I'm thinking, have I got my navy ink here, or is it in the, it might be over in the bag for tomorrow, so I might have to quickly grab it, but that's all right. Thank you for your patience, everyone. All right. This is a working studio, so, you know, things aren't always where they're supposed to be. In fact, they're almost never where they're supposed to be. What do you think? All right. Yes, I think Night of Navy will work really well. All right, so we've got the top bit done. Give me 1 second while I grab my Night of Navy ink. Actually, it's in the bag I've got right next to me. So that one, that's good. I'm glad I got that bag out. All right, I'm going to quickly clean the Mossy Meadow ink off my tree. And I'm going to come in here into the, let's see how dark this is. Is it going to be dark enough, or should I, you know what? If I am going to re-ink it, I wouldn't re-ink it for the back ones because they're the ones I want to be faded anyway, right? So we're going to have this one going over, and I'm not going to re-ink. We're just going to do a couple. So they're starting to fade out now. You can stamp off if you want to. All right, so those are looking nice. Oh, it is going to be nice in the navy, guys. It's going to be lovely. All right. Okay, so let's go back to the white ink again. I'm just going to bring this down over the top. You can see I'm picking up a little bit of the navy, but that's okay. All right, flicking it down over the top. Oh, they look nice. Who's thinking about drinking? How are you guys? Sheila's keeping up her fluids, is she? Right. All right, so I'm going to now have another kind of row of white here. But I'm not putting it on as heavily or as thick as I did at the top. All right, so that's looking kind of nice, isn't it? All right, so if I wanted to re-ink this, I would do it now before I stamp these ones, but I might just go with it as it is, and then we'll see if we need to add any more at the end. All right. Well, there's plenty of chaos around here. Plenty, Nicole. And I see Cherie has grabbed onto that idea and she's running with it. All right. I'm just going to leave that like that for a minute. And I'm thinking I'm going to do it. I'm going to add some Night of Navy re-inker and make this ever so slightly darker. I can always stamp off if it's too dark, but I'm going to grab this idea by the horns, and we're gonna run with it. All right. All right, so now this is very dark. See how that's a lot darker now? So let's try this and see. Actually, before I put that on there, I'm going to add a bit more white. I know I'm a bit all over the place. This is one of those techniques you kind of decide what you need and what you think you need to add as you go. So, you know, you might think, oh, I need more white, or I don't want more white, and, you know, just change your plans accordingly. All right, so I probably should be, actually, I should be using my sponge daubers in here. Let me grab my sponge dauber. What did I just do with it? There it is. That's better. You can be a little bit more precise with your sponge dauber, right? All right. I'm liking how that's looking, because I want this like second row of mist to be coming up between the trees. So I'm using my darker, well-inked navy here, and I'm going to have this row down a little bit further. Can you see that this is darker now? Oh, I like the blue. It's very, very nice. Okay, so now we have rows of trees, kind of rows, but they're not, you know, they're not uniform, which is good. That's what I wanted. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a blending brush, and this is what I didn't do before. I'm actually going to add a bit more depth of color down the bottom here. So I'm actually going to go in with my Night of Navy, and I'm going to start here, and I'm going to roll. When you're using a blending brush, here's a tip for you. Always start off the paper. Don't start on the paper. Now, this one, we might get away with a little bit, but you sometimes, if you start on the paper, that's when you get a blob of ink, and no one really wants a blob of ink, right? All right, so can you see that's a little bit darker at the bottom now? The blue's your favorite. Well, there you go. It does look really good though, doesn't it? It's so pretty. So nice. All right, I'm going to come in here with a little bit more of this. I'm nearly done, but I can see there's a little bit of like, well, they're meant to be. The trees are meant to be there, but I'm just wondering if I need any. a little bit more color coming up in a couple of spots. So you can keep adding and keep on stamping until you feel happy with it. I am actually going to just add a bit more trees in the bottom because you can't see them. I'm noticing you can't really see them. Maybe if I hold it up closer you might. But can you see, you can see that the trees are separate at the bottom, but when I hold it down here they look like they all blend together. But I'm actually going to add a bit more color over. Now that looks better. Yep. Okay, I'm happy with that. Can I just say that sometimes knowing when to stop is everything, right? Because you don't always know when to stop, and it can be a challenge. Sometimes we go that little bit too far and we go, oh, whoops, I liked it better before. But the more you do this, the more you're going to get an idea of how dark you want it to be. Now, the question is, if I'm going to pop this on a mat behind it, what color do I want to have? I have a number of choices. I could do like gray, like a smoky slate. That would look nice. I could do silver. I could also do, just thinking what would look really good. I could also do balmy blue even, because balmy blue is actually part of the same color family as the navy and the misty moonlight. It's just much lighter, but tonally they work really well together. So, oh, and we could also do boho blue. Let me pull boho blue out. That might be nice. All right, this is boho blue. So that would look nice, but it's maybe not different enough. Maybe not different enough. It actually looks very similar, doesn't it? Well, let me try balmy blue. If I can find it. Oh, I think I need to buy some more balmy blue. I don't have any more in my storage, but I do have plenty in my scraps. So let's have a look at the balmy blue. I think, look at that. It actually works. So that would actually be kind of nice. What do you think? Do we like that? Or if we go with smoky slate, or we could go black. That's another option. Or we could go navy. So we do actually have quite a few options. This is smoky slate, and that's nice as well. Silver would make it pop. Yep, it would. Brush silver. Yep, that would look nice, Ronnie. I've just ordered more silver. I think I still have some in my scrap box though. Give me a second. I do have some in my scrap box. Let me see if that's big enough. Not quite. Nearly. This one is. Okay. Let me cut this down. I love the blue too. The blue is really pretty. It looks very atmospheric. I'm just going to take, I've got a little bit of a scratch on that end there, so I'm actually going to cut that off. A little scratch there, but no one's probably going to see it. So that's on the silver. It does look really nice. What do you think? Should we go with the silver? We need more glitter papers. Well, you know, we have actually got quite a lot of glitter papers, but most of them are in the online store. Does everyone realize that? So if you go to the Stampin' Up store, the online store link is in the description below the YouTube video. You will see if you type in the word glimmer or glitter, actually I think glimmer is most of them, and there's all different colors. Most of what I need I can get there, but right now we have the festive glimmer paper, and that's 2 greens, Granny Apple Green, Garden Green, and Real Red. So those are out at the moment in the catalogue, but there's a lot of stuff that's not in the catalogue in the online store. So you like the silver? Well, I was thinking maybe under that we go with a piece of Night of Navy for our card base, and then I would have to put a white insert inside so that there's somewhere to write. So let's do that. All right. Oh, this is way too big. I didn't realize that. Should be 14.8. Okay, so this is going to go on here like so. Oh, is it cherry cobbler, Leslie? I could be wrong. Now I've said that, I feel like I should know that. It looks like Real Red, but I think you might be right. It could be cherry cobbler. Hope I haven't misinformed you. But after this, we're going to know, aren't we? Because I'm going to look it up, and we're going to make sure that I did not lead you astray. Let's see. Here it is. Oh, you're right. Look, Garden Green, Cherry Cobbler, and Granny Apple Green. Do you know, though, it is such a, it's probably, I would say this color is right in between Cherry Cobbler and Real Red, and you can use it with either. So, no, I'm the wrong one. You're right, Leslie. I'm wrong. All right. So this will need a greeting, like maybe a Merry Christmas, or, you know, a Christmas with, actually, I might even have one still over on the desk. Probably white or silver and Night of Navy for the Christmas. I think that would look really good, don't you? So there you go. We have 3 different versions, completely different because they're all different colors. I'm not going to get time to finish this one, but I just wanted to show them all to you, that you can do this in other colors. It doesn't have to be the neutrals. There you go, Cherie. Thank you. Cherie just put up the number and everything. $21, even the price. There you go. Oh, Cherie. Thank you. I'm improving, apparently. As opposed to what? Yes, this does not have to be a Christmas card, right? You could do it as a thinking of you card or a guy card. You know, that does not have to be Christmas. I mean, we made it Christmas here, but that's not necessary. I think they turned out really nice, though. What do you think? Do you like them? I came in with this one and added a lot more white, and I think it looked better when I did that. Up until then, I wasn't 100% happy with it, but adding the extra white in the sky really made a difference. You get to have a play. Good. Yay. It's a bit of fun. It really is. And it's something that you want a 3 Sisters stamp. Yeah, we don't have one of those. If ever I hit the $1 million achievement area, we get to design your own. You get to design your own stamp set in conjunction with head office, and maybe I should do something Australian like that. What do you think? Yeah, I think the blue one's my favorite now too. I love them all, but I think the blue worked out really, really nice. So there we go. That's a technique today. You're very, very welcome. I'm going to come back over the next couple of weeks and we'll try the Northern Lights technique because I haven't done that for a really long time, so it'd be fun to do it again. Thanks, Florence. I really appreciate that. And a decent kangaroo, not an indecent one. Just a reminder to everyone. Oh, quickly, I need to tell you, there's a sale starting tomorrow on Close to My Heart branded products. So if you're in the online store and you're looking around at all the Close to My Heart stuff, so there's some ink pads, there's some, what else is there? There's two-tone cardstock, there's flip flaps, a whole bunch of stuff. There's up to 30% sale off those starting tomorrow. So that's something for everyone who loves their scrapbooking. So you can get some really great products. And let me just quickly come back over. Let me see. Here I am. So the other thing that I wanted to tell you about, if you don't already know, is we have a joining special right now. And if you've ever thought about joining Stampin' Up as a demonstrator, can I just say to you, this is an awesome time to do it. Okay, it's $169, gets you $286 worth of products until the end of this month. So it's a really great deal. You can choose whatever you want. There's also things in there like business supplies, like catalogs and order forms and things like that. But you can just do it for a discount if you want to, or you might decide you want to run classes and start your own little community. Who knows? There's no have tos. It is the lowest pressure situation ever. I love that, you know, it's always up to you what you choose to do. So if anyone has an interest in that, that deal will go until the end of this month, but it's happening right now. So there's a link below this to click the join link, and that actually takes you into more information as well. So, so if anyone wants to check that out, I would love to talk to you about that if you have any questions. So just reach out. Yes. So Cherie, have you taken over giving out information today? Thank you so much. That's very nice of you. So, oh, Tanya, you're a little bit biased, honey. Tanya said that my team is an awesome team. I have to agree, but Tanya, being a member of the team, means that she's biased. So, so there you go. All right, you guys. Oh, shucks. I hope you've enjoyed this technique today. I am picking up my favorite. I love this. I think it turned out really, really beautiful. I hope you love it too. If you want to see how I did it and you missed the early parts, then go back and have a watch. Super easy technique. If you want to go and check out the other link to the original video I did with this 4 years ago, I'll put that in the description below as well. Thanks, guys. Have a fantastic few days. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.